It's your boy Morocco Taylor, and you know where you at. It's the Titans Colosseum podcast. We up in here with RJ, Mr. Five.
Yes, sir. Y'all know what time.
Hey, talk to him.
Yes, sir, man. Hey, I'm starting a new tradition, man. When the Titans do something good, man, I'm rocking the chain, man. Good day today, man.
Yes,
we finally have a good podcast.
Yes, sir. We got a special guest in the building too.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's go ahead and let him in the building, man. The one, the only Kim Moore, man.
Hey, what's going on, fellas? Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yo, what's happening with you?
Yes,
Hey,
sir.
man.
Yes, sir.
First time on, man. I appreciate the love. Thanks for reaching out.
Hey, man, we've been rocking with you for a long time, man. It's a blessing to have you.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, no doubt. I know we follow each other on social media, and y'all been chopping it up, doing your thing. And hey, I'm just blessed to be a part of it.
Yes, sir. We blessed to have you on the show, man.
Absolutely.
So, y'all ready to go ahead and get into the news, man, or what's going on?
Absolutely.
Get to it.
All right, man. So the Tennessee Titans hire GM from Ran Carthon from the 49ers, and so far everybody likes him. How y'all feel about that?
Ken, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll hop in first, man. Now, I think it's a breath of fresh air to get a new face in the building, get an outside voice, and then you get someone from a winning organization. I think that's most important, because they interviewed a lot of candidates. They had somebody from the Bills, somebody from the Bears, all good teams. The Bears, they up and coming with Justin Fields and whatnot. A lot of people was thinking about they may hire Cunningham, but I'm glad they went with Carthon with the 49ers. He brings a lot of experience. He's a former player, so he can relate from that aspect. Vrabel being a former player as well. A lot of Titans fans think, two strong egos in the building. Vrabel may be a little bit more egotistical, but I think those guys are going to be able to work good together to try to put this organization back to where it needs to be a championship contender.
Mm-hmm. I definitely like to hire. I mean, we have been discussing the candidates. I think one of them was Ian Cunningham, and the other guy was obviously the Ryan Coden. That was already within the organization. At first, I mean, we were taking bets on that it was going to be Ryan Cowden because we were like, oh yeah, the Titans just going to hire from within. They're going to be the same old franchise that we've been on. But this time, man, they proved us wrong, and I'm happy. You know what I'm saying? They went to a winning organization, and they got a guy.
We were kind of like asking for that in a sense on some of these podcasts, right? Because one of the teams we kept referring to was the 49ers. Like, watch the 49ers. Everybody talks about what Tannehill can and can't do, but we kept saying, like, don't matter who the 49ers have at quarterback, they seem to have belief in that team because how they have structured weapons and talent around the quarterback position. And I was like, Stafford won a Super Bowl, so there's no reason why we can't with Tannehill if we just put the right pieces around. And I'm glad that they kind of went to San Francisco, one of the teams we keep looking at for them to kind of be like with talent and to bring that mold of type of players around. So I'm really excited for it. I'm looking forward to it because I did want a new face, and we kind of got it with this one.
Yeah, we got our guy. I mean, everybody within the fan base, they were just, want the Titans to try something different. I mean, throughout history, you already know we always hire in-house, hire the buddy or whatever. And, they hadn't got us anywhere. So just to see, somebody new come in, somebody young come in, first African-American GM that we done had. I mean, that right there makes a lot of people happy. And, younger kids are looking at that, and they looking at it like, we can be so much more than players. Like, everybody that loves football doesn't have that desire to be a player. And for the Titans to give Rand that opportunity, I mean, it just gives so much hope to, a lot of other people out there that's, thinking about going the executive route in the NFL. So, man, I love it. I can't wait to see what comes up out of this. I'm 100% behind this dude.
Yeah.
Hey, Morocco, you touched on a great point, man, because, I'm a little bit older than you guys. I'm in my 50s now. So, I've been around for a minute doing this. But I remember when growing up watching football, you know, and the Oilers started here. I'm a lifelong Oilers fan before they moved to Tennessee. Yeah. And two things you touched on there. One, the Adams family has always been open to African Americans at positions where there typically weren't African Americans in football. At the quarterback position, they brought Warren Moon in from Canada. Okay, the first really superstar black quarterback to play in the NFL. And then, you know, outside of Doug Williams and all of that. And then, of course, they drafted Steve McNair when a lot of people was, can Steve McNair play? He's coming from the SWAC. And then, of course, they backdoored that with Vince Young. So, and then now they're stepping outside the box to hire African-American general manager. Now, there are African-American general managers in the NFL now, but when I was watching football in my 20s and 30s, you didn't have African-Americans in front office positions. You didn't have African-Americans playing quarterback in the NFL. There was maybe one, maybe two sprinkled here and there. But now, as you mentioned, young kids, young people that want to be involved in NFL, you don't necessarily have to be a player. You can be a head coach. You can be a general manager. And hopefully one day you can be in that ownership position. So that's a great point.
And I got another point too. Like, I was literally on the phone with a guy that's not even a Titans fan, and I posted that little video that I'm gonna show a little bit later. You know what I'm saying? With Ran coming into the building, and everybody was happy. And my boy called me, said, "Hey, what new player did y'all get?" Like he didn't even realize that this is a GM. Like, this is a dude that's in an executive position. That lets you know that how many non-black people that we have, the African Americans, that are not in executive positions. And I was like, dude, no, that's our GM, bro. You know what I'm saying? He was like, okay. He said, you guys got some excitement going on, this, that, and the other. He's an Atlanta Falcons fan. And, you know, like I said, we've come a long way from a minority standpoint. So
he definitely does look like he can step on the field and play, though. He does look like he's ready to fill in it.
Hey, hold on. I got something to show y'all real quick. Hold on. Yes. Man, I'm telling you, man, don't nobody want to fight our coaches, man. Them boys built, man. And he gonna be out there holding them sleds, man.
That's all I was wondering. You know, Vrabel's out there being physical and hands-on during the scouting process, man. Are we gonna see our GM and our head coach out there getting physical with guys? Because they look like they can withstand it.
Nah,
hey, I tell you what, the Ravens ain't gonna want to mess with us at midfield.
I was thinking the same thing.
Harbaugh don't want no smoke,
Harbaugh ain't gonna want to try it this time.
Well, we can go and look at some of Rand's draft history, man. Right here, we see what he mostly for what his position was. He dealt with a lot of lower rounds of the draft, and some of the people that he required while he was in San Francisco from the 5 through 7 rounds 5 through 7, are George Kittle, Richie James, Jawan Jennings, Dre Greenlaw, Hufanga, who's a great safety, and Brock Purdy, who's the guy that's killing the league right now. You know,
and Elijah Mitchell, he was doing good too.
Elijah Mitchell too. Yeah, he was a good 5th round running back. And I remember he stepped in. Whatever, they didn't have a running back at the time. I think Trey Sermon got hurt, and that Raheem Mostert got hurt too. He stepped in. He had almost 1,000 yards. So he's a good running back.
Yeah. So he got a good eye for talent.
Yeah, he most definitely has an eye for talent. A lot of their roster right now is built off of the lower rounds, if you didn't know that. So, like I said, he knows what he's doing, man. And he's been around Jeff Fisher. You know what I'm saying, when there's times at the Rams, you know, Jeff Fisher always had an eye for talent. He's not really the best coach, but like he definitely had an eye for talent.
Les Snead.
Yeah.
He spent time with Les Snead as well.
Yeah, he was over in Atlanta. In Atlanta, you remember when Atlanta was there, they were hot and they were trying their best to get to the Super Bowl. You know, they wound up getting there, and you know, we know what happened when they got there. You know?
Same coach too.
Yeah.
So So I mean, so we got the GM now. What do y'all want to see for offensive coordinator for us?
Man, there's a lot out there, man. There's a lot of teams firing their offensive coordinators. I mean, just today, you know, you saw the Buccaneers get rid of their offensive coordinator. The Ravens got rid of their offensive coordinators. I think it's like 7 offensive. There's more offensive coordinators getting fired than head coaches this year, which is kind of wild, So it lets you know that everybody is aware that, hey, you have to have a dynamic offense to win in the NFL. It's very hard, with the Titans philosophy or even the Baltimore Ravens philosophy of running the ball and playing good defense. That can get you into the playoffs. Yes, that can get you into playoff games and maybe win a game or two. But to get to that ultimate prize, man, you have to have a team that can put, 28 to 35 points on the scoreboard if you want to be a Super Bowl champion. So, and it's a lot of competition because you got 7 offensive coordinator positions, and then you still have another 5 head coaching positions that's probably going to be hiring offensive coordinators as well. So there's really 12 offensive coordinator positions out there. So, it's a lot of competition. The Titans aren't the only ones out there. So they're going to have to be on their due diligence, and they're going to have to start, tonight, trying to figure out and identify who those candidates are.
Do you want to see an offensive change? Like, do you want to see us do something a little bit differently from an offensive standpoint?
Personally, I look at our 2019 team as really a prototype for what this offense can be, where you can still have a dynamic running back in Derrick Henry. You had 2 very good outside receivers when you had Corey Davis and A.J. Brown. You had a couple of good slot receivers as well and a good tight end in Jonnu. That's really what you need to have in today's NFL. You don't really need to have a superstar running back. That helps. And we know Derrick probably has 1 or 2 more years left, but you have to get those dynamic playmakers and speed on the outside. I think we got 2 good tight ends right now in Chig. If we bring Austin Hooper back, I think you're set at that position, but it's those guys on the outside, man, that you got to have. So, you got to find somebody that can help develop Burks, and then we got to find a second guy to pair with him to try to get this offense back to where it needs to be.
Yeah. One thing we learned, on Busting with the Boys is that Derrick Henry's here for the long run. And I'll show you this right here. He basically said, I want to win a championship here so bad, I want to bring the first one to Nashville. So if you don't think Derrick Henry is serious and want to bring a Super Bowl here, if you don't think Miss Amy is serious about bringing a Super Bowl here, I don't know what's wrong with you. We serious, man. We want to get there. That's the ultimate goal. I mean, it's the ultimate goal for every team, but I think that the Titans want it bad, just as bad as everybody else is, if not more. And let's take it. It's long overdue. Amy saw the failures of the Oilers, all the way up to the Tennessee Titans with Bud Adams. She want to win, man. She want to win.
Derrick Henry, he's not the only one that's feeling like that. I mean, we saw Big Jeff after the Jaguars game. He's in tears. He wants to be here. He loves Nashville. He, loves the atmosphere. He loves the locker room here. I mean, he loves every single thing you could possibly love about Nashville. David Long Jr., he brought up the fact that, he trying to see things through with his brothers, the guys who he got drafted with. And Kevin Byard, I mean, he's expressed similar thoughts. So, overall, it's a whole bunch of people within that building that want to win a Super Bowl so bad that they are willing to stick it out together until the very end.
Yeah. And I feel like Lawan feels that way too, but he's been so injured these past couple of years. I just don't know if we're going to bring him back. Like, we need that position, but can we trust you with that? But he also has that mentality too, that like he wants to see us succeed, but I just don't know if he's going to stick around. I just want to see this offense.
His heart is in it, but I don't think his body is just gonna make it, man. It's just the question. This is a physical game. You know what I'm saying? This is a grueling game. It's like you're in a train wreck every time you get hit, man. Like sooner or later your body just can't take it anymore. So we got it this way. But I mean, we can watch some feel good videos, man. We can watch. I will watch Ran Carthon come into the building. Yeah, I'll go ahead and show that video off for y'all.
Bro, that's nice to see from
Yeah.
where the organization used to come from, and you used to get like a camera photo or the video of them walking into the facility glass doors. Then you got to see them sit at that desk with nothing behind them, and so it's nice to see a big warm welcoming coming in like that for him. That's awesome to see our franchise grow like that.
Yeah.
Facts.
And also another thing that Carthon did is that he orchestrated a lot of those trades. What people don't realize, he was one of the main reasons that the 49ers got that Trent Williams and Christian McCaffrey. So a lot of that goes to him. He orchestrated that. So he's a very good guy.
One thing I was told was that they had that same reaction in the building when Amy walked Todd down and out. Everybody was walking in the building, man.
That's cold. That's cold.
Oh, man.
It was that same reaction in the building. They just didn't have no cameras, man. When Amy walked Todd down and out, everybody was up clapping, man. That's just some inside information I got, man. That was some inside. I just wanted to drop it.
So I got a question, man. Who was worse, man? Terry Robisky or Todd Downing?
Todd Downing. It ain't even close, man. It's not even close because Robisky understood the assignment. He was told just straight up run the ball, and we ran the ball. And we ran ourselves into relevancy. Todd Downing, on the other hand, he's a pass-happy coach. He don't want to run the ball like that. To me, Vrabel told him to run the ball, and he ran the ball to a damn fault. He ran the ball so much, he ran himself up out of a job. So for me, man, it's Todd Downing.
Yeah.
So it's with seeing that video now too, and we kind of know some things in retrospect, like seeing that big of a warm welcoming, and to know he got hired on John Robinson's birthday. You don't feel like some of this is kind of like shots of how like we're going to make sure that we're turning a new page in this franchise? Because them hiring him on his birthday, I don't know if that was coincidental, but that seems like that was intentional.
It might have been. You never know. Vrabel's in the building, and we know Vrabel. Vrabel always taking some shots. I mean, no matter if it's him dialing up a bomb at the end of the Green Bay game or him calling the exact same play that Belichick and Josh McDaniels ran to Brady. I mean, Vrabel is a known troll artist. So, it wouldn't surprise me at all if he was like, you know what? This is when we need to do it because this is John's birthday.
Too much, man.
It's crazy, man. It blows my mind. There's a lot of people that's been talking a lot of trash about my Titans ever since when we've been down. I said, keep hating. Just keep hating, man. Because when we come back, we gonna get what we wanted, man. Because we learned our lesson the first time we was up. You know, we learned our lesson.
Yeah, it feels like that. It definitely feels that way.
And people got to remember, man, that this was a 12-5 ball club a year ago. This was a 7-3 ball club when they fired John Robinson. Okay, before all the injuries took place, this was still a 7-3 football team. You know, they fired John Robinson, and that kind of maybe unraveled stuff, you know, in-house, you know, somewhat. And then all the injuries hit after that. And, you know, the Jacksonville game at home was a disaster. Derrick Henry started fumbling the ball. And it just seems like the train started going downhill from there. But this team still has some pieces, man. It's not a complete rebuild. I think it's just, you know, it's not going to be easy, you know. And those cheers, on a serious note, those cheers can turn to jeers, you know, if he drafts the wrong players or if he makes the wrong trades or makes the wrong decisions. I just think he has to come in, be pragmatic. Don't try to swing for the fences right off the bat. Take your time, make some subtle moves, make some good draft picks, and then if the opportunity presents itself to go get, you know, a big-time player or something like that, then you swing at that point. But, you know, just come in, take your time, and figure it out. You don't have to swing for the fences right away.
Now, what you need to do, man, is just go ahead and get Dennis Daly a 5-year contract, man. You know, so I feel like he's worth it as a left tackle.
5 years, 100 million guaranteed.
5 years, nigga.
No, I can't even let y'all play like that right now.
I don't know.
That need to be his first order of business right there. Go ahead and get that man his washing papers. But I agree with Ken, though. I mean, we need a lot, but we don't need a lot at the same time because our problem was the bottom half of our roster. I mean, once our main guys went down, I mean, we had so many people that was inexperienced or whatever to where, you know, we just couldn't keep things afloat. So, like Ken said, just come in there and, you know, do work. Don't try to, you know, go for that home run right off the bat because you already got the fan base behind you. You got the organization behind you. Yep. So just go in there, hey, work your magic. He gets a lot of credit for what he done at the bottom of the roster. Work on that, and when it's time to make that home run or whatever, hey, you'll be in position to do it.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, we can go ahead and watch another little feel good video, man. We can hear what Jeff Fisher has to say about Ran Carthon.
On the record, okay, I won a few games here, and I don't know what that is, but they say I'm the winningest coach in franchise history. That record is going to fall with this relationship between the two of them. That's how strongly I feel about Mike, the organization, where it's headed, and this hire. Let me just say,
wow,
yeah,
that's a lot of praise.
Yeah, it is, and like I said, he believes in Carthon, and he definitely believes in Mike Vrabel. I'm sure he knows both of them very well. I just feel like, man, if he gives him a San Francisco like roster, man, I feel like Mike Vrabel gonna get the most out of it, man. I mean, he's getting the most out of practice squad players, man. What do you think he's gonna do if he has a D-line like the San Francisco 49ers? He has an offense like the San Francisco 49ers. Like, just imagine what he could do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just, man, the fact that he's even winning with the rosters that we had now. We had a 12-5 roster with damn near everybody hurt on the team. Like, that's ridiculous, man. Like, they ain't had Derrick Henry. He had missing half the offensive line. All we had was AJ and Tannehill. It's crazy, man.
Yep. Yeah, and that just shows how great of a coach he is, and so many people put him down because of the situation that he's in, and you know he's kind of the product of his environment because of the players we have around him. So they're like, well, he's not this, but it's like, why we're winning games and being in situations that nobody ever expects us to be in, and it's because of Vrabel's good coaching. He makes bad situations come up, but majority of his time he knows how to coach us into the right positions to get us win. But that just didn't happen this year. I think trying to bounce back 2 years in a row from back-to-back injury prone and 80+ players using in 2 seasons, that's just a lot to do. But he still had us in a good position, and that just shows, I think, how great it's going to be when we actually get some talent around him. We're going to be a dominant force in the AFC.
Yeah.
I think Vrabel's a hell of a coach, man. He and he kills me, people, oh, we need to fire Vrabel, and Ran Carthon, Vrabel might be on the hot seat and this, that, and the other. I'm like, man, Vrabel has got this team to the playoffs every single year. He's either got to the conference championship game or won the division. Like, do y'all realize where we were before Mike Vrabel got here? I mean, Mike Mularkey was fine. Mike Mularkey, kind of set things up. But do you remember Mike Munchak? Do you remember Ken Wisenhunt? Have y'all forgotten that? Have you forgotten the end of Jeff Fisher? I mean, come on now. Y'all tripping.
Yes. This is like Vrabel's first losing season, too. So it's like, man, he's been doing great.
And it's not even his fault. That was not his fault at all. He had them boys playing hard, man. Like, you look at that Jacksonville game, man. I'm sorry, man. The Jacksonville had a way better team than us. And we could have easily won that game if Josh Dobbs doesn't fumble or throw an interception. Like, literally, we were 2 plays away from beating Jacksonville, and they had a better roster than us. Like, come on, man. Hey,
Vrabel, he coaches his ass off, and the players, they play their ass off for this dude. And when our season was ended, everybody was talking about, a rebuild, and I was with it. I mean, I understand because every team has to go through it at some point in time. And even Vrabel said earlier in the season that we were at a crossroads. But when we brought Ran in, the more I thought about it, the more I said to myself, they not gonna want to rebuild. I mean, look at everything y'all just pointed out or whatever. We were a 7-3 team before the injury bug just kicked all the way in or whatever. 12-5 first seed the year before that. I mean, consistently in the playoffs with most of the players that we got on the roster right now. I mean, the obvious AJ Brown, he's no longer with us, but Derrick Henry, Ryan Tannehill, Kevin Byard, Big Jeff. I mean, none of those guys went anywhere. And they looking at this thing like, hey, all we need to do is figure out a way to keep our players healthy, fix the bottom half of our roster so that when somebody goes down, we got somebody legitimate coming in. We don't have a guy straight up off the streets that hadn't been on a team throughout the year. I mean, we got legitimate dudes, and that's how they looking at it. They not looking to rebuild. They seriously trying to win a championship before this window completely shuts down. And the window is, of course, Ryan Tannehill. As much as y'all don't like to admit it, is Ryan Tannehill. That's the quarterback. He's gonna be the quarterback for at least another year or so, in my opinion. And Derrick Henry. Once you see those two gone, that's when you'll see a rebuild. But right now, we still trying to win a championship.
Yeah, restructure, not rebuild.
Right.
The 49ers are giving us the blueprint to how to win, how to at least compete for a Super Bowl. They haven't won one. They at least compete with us for a Super Bowl with the I ain't gonna say mediocre, but with an average quarterback. So it's possible. It's possible. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta stack him around with talent. You gotta give him an offensive line. You gotta give him help. Yeah, he's not gonna create out of nothing. Like Ryan Tannehill he's not Patrick Mahomes. He's not gonna scramble out the pocket and look down the field and throw a 90-yard pass for a TD. That's not what he do. He gonna do exactly what the coaches are telling him to do. He's gonna read defenses. He's gonna change the play. If it ain't there, he's gonna flip the run. If it's going right into the strong side of the defense, and that's what all he gonna do. The Titan fans aren't gonna like that. A lot of people don't like Ryan Tannehill, but Ryan Tannehill has been a winner since he's been in a Titans uniform. So he may not. People judge him off of what he did in Miami. And Miami was the reason why he was losing like that. Not Tannehill. Tannehill was literally. If you go look at Tannehill's stats on the Dolphins, man, he was throwing. He did enough to win games. He may not have done enough to take him to the playoffs by himself, but he did enough to win games.
That was some of Jarvis Landry's best years too, is when he was paired up with Tannehill. He ain't really been that receiver since.
Yeah, seriously.
Right.
But I did see something a little crazy on Twitter whenever I was scrolling through. Apparently, Trey Lance wants to come to the Tennessee Titans. I don't know how we would get Trey Lance. I mean, I'm sure they would want an arm and a leg to get him. But I mean, it's possible. I mean, I'm not going to sit there and throw it out. You know what I mean? To say that, nah, we don't want Trey Lance. Like, I take him. I mean, he's a good athlete. He's a big quarterback. He got an arm. It's like Malik Willis, honestly. Like, So how y'all feel about that?
Nice quarterback room with Trey Lance and Malik Willis.
Dream situation.
Yeah,
they want to rethink that restructure. That will be a rebuild.
Yeah,
in my opinion. Now if they could, in all seriousness, I mean, I'm not giving up a first round pick for Trey Lance. I'm probably not even giving up a second round pick. Because those are valuable pieces that you need to rebuild this offensive line and get another wide receiver on the outside. So I don't know, man. That would be something. That would be a risky proposition because you haven't seen this kid play. And he went to North Dakota State. same college that Carson Wentz went to. He really didn't play a lot of college football because of the pandemic. So he really hasn't played football really in 3 years. When you think about it, he's probably played 5 games in the last 3 years. So he hasn't had a chance to hone his skill set. He hasn't had a chance to get better. Yeah, is the natural talent there? Yeah, but do you have time to wait on that? Right? Mm-hmm. You're not in a total rebuild like a Carolina or Atlanta or one of those teams like that. Like one of those teams that finished with 3 or 4 wins. You're not in that type of situation. So I don't know if Trey would be the right fit for this team at this time.
Yeah. I kind of agree with that too, because he hasn't really played. When he was on the field, you kind of already seen that he wasn't developing the way the 49ers was hoping and how they're liking. And if they do trade for him, do we really want the guy that lost his job to Mr. Irrelevant as well? I mean, there's potential there, but we also got to, look at the situation for what it is. I don't think it's worth that. We got too many things to do. Yeah. I don't think Trey Lance is it. And I think that was just him, wishing good luck on Ran. I think that's really what it was. But no, I don't think so. I mean, if we're going to do that situation, let's just stay with Malik and let's see if he can actually develop into something if we're going to run that. But I don't think trading for Trey.
Yeah, I definitely agree. We shouldn't trade for Trey Lance. I went back. I thought about it. And I started watching some film on Trey, and he ain't nothing but what Malik Willis is right now. We going right. It's not. He's like a little bit better than Malik Willis. That's really what he is. Like, I mean, he's just like what Black Purdy doing. He just gets surrounded by a bunch of talent. He throws a 5-yard pass and they go 30. Like, come on, man. He's basically another Malik.
And just to add to what everybody else said, the 49ers right now, to me, it boils down to this weekend. I mean, they got the game against the Cowboys. And if Brock goes out there and he wets the bed, I mean, they not gonna want to come up off of Trey Lance too quick.
True. Yeah.
But if he go out there and light it up or whatever, they got a decision they got to make because they gave up a lot for this dude or whatever, and they really not gonna want to ship him away when they don't have a real answer. So right now, Trey, I mean, he may turn out to be something in the league, but right now, as far as the Titans go, nah, they shouldn't take that chance. I think Ran isn't thinking about, taking that chance with Trey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He would know best.
The first thing he need to think about is that offensive line.
Exactly.
That's the first thing. He should think about anything else.
I got one for y'all. What do y'all think about if they decide to release Tannehill and free up that $19 million in cap space? If you could get Jimmy G on the cheap, what do you guys think about that?
I'm not the biggest fan of Jimmy G, man. I already just keep Tannehill, but I mean Tannehill just he a little bit more expensive, but I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Jimmy G.
I'm not either.
Overthrow people, man.
Yeah, I'm not either. I'd stick with Tannehill just because like that $60 million is not much when you look at the quarterback market either. It's a lot because that's what the value is for quarterbacks. But if we got to do that, I'd rather just pay the extra for Tannehill because I have more faith in him. For me, Garoppolo's situational awareness ain't always there. Like you said, he overthrows. There's times where he's running out the back of the end zone in clear white for a touchback. Like his situational awareness ain't always there, and I have more faith in Tannehill than I do with Garoppolo.
Mm-hmm. And we seen Tannehill be durable outside of this season right here, which you can't even knock him for this season right here because we got a bunch of, I don't even know what to call them. I'm just going to call them what they are, offensive linemen who can't protect him. So, I mean, it's better to keep Tannehill, Jimmy G. I mean, we see Jimmy G get hurt every year just about. I mean, he's in and out the lineup, and we already going through a lot with our injury bug. I mean, to let go of one of our most durable players and bring in a well-known injury-prone player, that right there would be stupid.
Yeah.
I agree.
So
go ahead. No, go ahead.
So what you guys think that we should let go of Taylor Lewan, or what do you think we should do with him?
I think so. I mean, Taylor knows it. You know, he knows it as well. He knows that the Titans aren't going to bring him back at $14 million. Now, if he wanted to take a significant pay cut, you know, down to around $4 or $5 million, you know, and come in and see if he can play. And then if he can't play, maybe he can be a backup or something like that, a swing tackle. You know, if he wanted to do that, that would be something I would entertain. There's a possibility another team may pay him more. You know, a team that needs a left tackle, that doesn't have a left tackle, that's kind of desperate for someone at that position with experience. He may be able to get a $7-8 million deal, 1 year prove-it deal with somebody else. So, but the Titans definitely are not bringing him back at that $14 million price tag.
Do you think that we should move him to right tackle? Yeah, we tried it.
He wants to stay left.
Hey, man.
I think it's a little late for that, man, in his career.
Yeah. See, and I kind of hope because I was watching Bussin' Boys, and he says he'll take a significant pay cut, but I don't think he'll take 4. So, would 7-8 work for you? But the thing for me is I want to see, there's a clause in his contract that says even if he's hurt, he gets full salary paid out. And that's the clause I want to see it go away if he sticks around. So that way, if he gets hurt again, we're not paying him 3 years in a row for his full contract salary. That's why I'm like, he should take a pay cut. We paid you two years now for full contract salary, and now you're going to come back and play for. So take at least half a cut. Take half of what you'd be getting paid. Take that injury clause out your contract, and then let's see if you can actually play. That's what I would want to see from him, because I would like to see him stick around, but not for that $14 million and not with that injury clause he has in his contract.
That man owe us some money. I love
yeah, bro.
He owe us some money, bro.
Man, it's unfortunate as hell, man. But it's business at the end of the day. Correct. I mean, he hasn't been able to stay on the field, and at the time where when he signed his contract, he was making, I think he was the highest paid left tackle at the time. And he definitely haven't lived up to that contract. I mean,
not at all.
He's had his moments of greatness. I mean, I love LeWan. I mean, I love his personality. I love the play on the field when he's on the field playing, but that's the thing. He's not on the field enough. I mean, when you think about our history of left tackle, man, I mean, we got a real deal history of great left tackle play. And Taylor Lewan would have been able to stay healthy. I mean, he would have been amongst them. But yeah, like Firestone said, I mean, if he'll take a significant pay cut, I mean, yeah, that may be something. But even with that, I mean, he's still injury prone. So we'll have to bring somebody in, and the market is slim right now.
That's true too.
But like I was saying before we got on this live, I was telling them, I said I was looking at an article that's saying one of the first people that Rand could go after is I think San Francisco has either a right tackle or a left or a specific tackle that's going on that's going to be a free agent, and they were saying they can offer him. I think it's like Mike McGlinchey or something, McGlinchey. I don't know how to say his name.
Okay, yeah, Notre Dame dude.
Yeah, him. Like if they would have, if they said they could offer him like $15 million, he could be the perfect left tackle for us. And I was like, man, if we can just solidify this left tackle position in free agency, that opens up a lot in the draft. You know what I'm saying? That we can get some young skill players, you know, that can boost up this line. I mean, they're not the line, but the receiving core.
Yeah.
But yeah. Hey, Titan Rossi in the building. He said, what's going on, fellas? What's up, Ken?
Yo, what's going on, Rossi?
Yes, sir. What's up, Rossi?
Oh, yeah.
Doing, hey, but y'all everybody
make sure y'all go check my bad, RJ.
No, don't say what you're saying. Don't say what you're saying.
Yeah. So y'all make sure y'all check out that interview with Corey Curtis that Titan Ross had done.
Yeah, I watched
I
that.
mean, it was
Yeah.
dope. It was dope
Yeah.
as hell.
Corey
Y'all
Curtis
make
is
sure
on the money.
y'all go turn his YouTube up. And hey,
Yes.
man, Corey was on fire. That's
Yeah.
all I'm
Yeah,
gonna say
he-
about
he was
it.
speaking the truth. Hey, Ty
Yeah.
Ross, that was a good interview, man. That was
Yeah.
a
That
really
was a good show last night. Good show
Good
last
show,
night.
good
I
show,
thought.
good show,
Yes,
most
sir.
definitely.
Mhm.
But yeah, for everybody that's in the comments, we're gonna have a section for comments where we're gonna come start replying. So keep the comments rolling. We're gonna get to y'all. I promise.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So what positions do you think we need to handle in the draft, and what are ones you think will be the main focus in free agency with how the market's going to be kind of looking this upcoming year?
Yeah, so there's really not any grade A wide receivers, in free agency. So I think that's something that the Titans are going to have to try to find in the draft. As it stands right now, with the number 11 pick, I would want to go offensive tackle, best offensive tackle available with the number 11 pick. That's assuming you don't get somebody in free agency. And then you try to go wide receiver in the second and third round, kind of like we did with AJ. We found AJ in the second round. He turned out to be a tremendous value at that point. So if you can, it's easier to find a great receiver later in the draft than it is to find a great tackle later in the draft.
Yeah.
So I would go tackle in the first round. You may need to try to find a center depending on what happens with Ben Jones. If he decides to retire or if he decides to come back. His body's been very beat up. He's older now. He had those concussions. So he seriously is going to think about retirement this offseason. So you may need to replace him at center. You may need another left guard to replace Aaron Brewer, because I love Aaron Brewer. I love his tenacity, but he is just not big enough to play 17 weeks in the NFL as a starting left guard. I mean, he was great as a backup behind Roger Saffold. He was great in that role. And he needs to go back to that role, being a backup, a good, solid backup, backup center, backup guard. That's his best position. But from center to left guard to left tackle, all three of those positions may need to be replaced. You may not be able to get them all done in one offseason. If you guys remember back 6-7 years ago, we drafted Taylor Lewan, then we got Jack Conklin. So it may take 2 years to do this thing.
Yeah, and the last time we had the 11th overall pick, we did pick Taylor Lewan too. So we did go tackle last time.
Yeah.
There's a couple of left tackles I was looking at when I've been looking through film or whatever. I think it was the Paris Johnson. I think that's who Ty Rossi's saying. He said, I really hope we get Paris Johnson. He's a beast. There's another guy. I know people don't want to hear this, but there's a left tackle from Georgia named Broderick Jones, man. And Broderick Jones is a beast. I'm a big SEC, I'm a big ball fan, man. You know what I'm saying? I pay attention to SEC football like the back of my hand. Broderick Jones is a beast. He hasn't allowed a sack the whole season, and that's the SEC. So,
yeah, don't let Isaiah Wilson scare y'all away. I mean, he done a lot of messed up things or whatever, but just know that the man that picked him is gone. It's a new day.
I think Isaiah Wilson is a one-of-a-kind player, man. A one-of-a-kind. I don't even. I can't even blame J. Rob on that one, man. That dude didn't even play a snap. Like that's ridiculous. They said that he was a whole different person from when they drafted him than what they saw in the interview. You know what I'm saying? Leading up to what was going on. And, they had to do all the interviews through streams or whatever. It was during COVID, so they didn't get a chance to really meet him in person to see what kind of person he is. So.
He definitely finessed the system, man.
Yeah, he did.
We got the comments rolling in. Y'all want to go and get started on these comments, or
let's get them in here.
Got anything else y'all want to get off before we start the comments?
Nah, let's get to these comments, man. Let's let
this
fans,
chat get in.
Yeah, let our fellow fans do their thing.
Shout out to my mother. She's in the chat. She's in the chat. She said, "Which wide receiver in the draft would fit well with the Tennessee Titans offense?"
RJ, Ken, that's for y'all, man. I'm not a draft dude.
I haven't started my draft evaluations yet. I haven't started yet. So I know it's a kid out of USC, but he may be a first round pick. So he, that may not be someone that we're able to get, depending on what we do at number 11, because he's not going to be there in the second round. So I haven't gotten that far in my evaluation, but it needs to be somebody that can run. I know that runs at least a 4.4. We don't need no more NWIs and,
you mean I thought we should go Cody Hollister like receivers in the first round.
We got all the blocking we need.
That can block. That's exactly what we need.
Yeah, man. Tajay Sharps. We need to get past that, man.
Man, I'm not gonna lie, man. I hate to be biased, man, but my boy Jalen Hyatt, bro, I'm telling y'all, man, he gonna take the top off of it,
man.
I just don't know where he's gonna fall at.
Yeah, man, I don't either. I think he's going first round, man. He might go to the end of the first round. I just don't feel like he's gonna make it past Kansas City, Buffalo, Cincinnati. I just don't think he's gonna make it past them. Like they're gonna get a fast wide. They value those wide receivers,
And I
but
definitely
if
don't
he's
see
there
him
in the second round, man, you take him.
Right.
Yeah, and I don't see him making past Seattle neither. Seattle needs another guy.
Yeah, that's true.
Seattle
That's
got.
true.
Do they got?
I don't even know.
There's another guy that I want you guys to do some research on, but I know this one's going probably shy y'all way, but his name is Jackson Smith and Jigba, and he played for Ohio State. He's better than Marvin Harrison Jr. So he was supposed to be the number 1 wide receiver at Ohio State. So he had a 345-yard game against Utah. 345 yards. So Jackson Smith and Jigba, whenever he was on the team with Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson, they literally said this is the best wide receiver that's on our team. Literally. And he was playing slot and he was playing the outside. But here's the con with Jackson Smith and Jigba and why he's not going in the top 10. He hurt his hamstring. He didn't get a chance to play the whole season.
Yeah,
so
I don't want none of that.
Exactly.
They drafted enough players with an injury their last couple of years.
I know it's gonna shy y'all away from it, but Jackson Smith
need no soft tissue injury, guys.
No,
right.
And I honestly, I ain't done my evaluation yet either because I'm kind of waiting to see who our offensive coordinator is and who our GM was going to be, so I know where our team was going to be kind of heading towards mentally. But, man, I'd love to have Hyatt. Now, honestly, if we can fix some things at offensive line and free agency, if Hyatt's there at 11, I'd love to take him at 11 because he is fast. He got hands. He can run routes. He's physical. I mean, he's what we kind of need to be replaced right next to Traylon Burks, and it'd be good because I don't know how long he's going to last, and he's not going to be there in the second round for us. But I haven't done my full evaluation of everybody either, though. So, take that with a grain of salt.
What about a trade back? Would y'all be on board with trading back if we can get the offensive line to a stable point during free agency?
That wouldn't be a bad decision at all. That wouldn't be a bad decision. What we need to solidify is that left tackle position because I feel like we can find a guard in the center anywhere. Because I feel like guards and centers aren't hard to find. A left tackle, that's you got to go first round with that. Like everybody wants a left tackle.
Right.
Like, that's the most important position in football. So
yeah. I mean,
they got to be damn good to take them in the first round that high too. You remember we took Chance Warmack 1 year. I can't think of the year right now, but I know we took him 10th overall or something.
Yeah.
I mean, you
like
take a guard that
9.
high. Right, you take them that high, man. They got to be Hall of Fame type players.
Yeah.
They got to literally be a Quentin Nelson. Like they got to be one of them.
And to me, that's still not a good pick because if your best player on your team, and this is what I say to Colts fans, if the best player on your team is a guard, then you don't have a good team. And I'm just being real. If the best player on your team is a guard, that's just like if the best player on your team is a safety. The best player on your team cannot be a safety, and they cannot be a guard. I mean, that's just a proposition.
They got to be D lineman, a quarterback, wide receiver, or running back. They got to be something that's going to impact the game.
A premier position.
You got to play a skill.
But the only thing I have, like when you were talking about trading back, the only issue with that is that are we going to have the cap space to pay for those extra draft picks and capitals? Like we got to clear up a lot of cap space too to open up those possibilities for us because trading back would be nice to get more picks so we can have more players to fix some of these issues we need to fix.
Right.
This is another wide receiver I want you guys to check out. His name is Zay Flowers. This dude right here, man, I ain't gonna lie. He's a steal. If you watch his tape, man, his route running skills, I don't think that's bad about him. He's like 5'11", but like, dude, he's super fast, and he gets in and out those breaks really, really fast. So
Zay Flowers, okay. Boston College.
Flowers. Yeah, check out Zay Flowers. Check out a guy named Josh Downs from UNC. I've been doing a lot of wide receiver. I've been doing looking at a lot of wide receivers, the film or whatever. I just watch a lot of highlights and stuff, and I kind of dictate from that. But yeah, him. Check out, like I said, Josh Downs from UNC. I think you guys will like him too. I mean, they're kind of short, but they create a lot of separation. I feel like that's what we're kind of missing.
Yeah, if you can create separation, don't matter if you're short. That height matters when you got to go over top and get people. So if you can get separation, then that take that helps with your shortness or lack of being 6 foot plus.
Do you guys think that and I was really high on him coming out of UCLA. Do you guys think Phillips is going to be able to give us anything? I mean, is he just going to be another injury-prone guy on the team? I mean,
I think he's too
I was
small.
surprised he didn't come back the whole year.
I think he's small, bro, and it's nothing like I feel like he has a good route running skills, and he be like a good wide receiver on the Patriots or something. But like he's too small. He got to gain some weight, man. Like we in the league, man. You got to be able to break off tackles every now and then and get a first down. I don't think he can do that.
Right.
I think he can be I think he could be a role player. I don't think he's going to be something that steps in star because, like I said, he is small. Might be a good special teams guy. Might be a good third or fourth wide receiver that comes in when they're focusing more on our big guys. He can be quick and get into those small gaps. But I don't know because of the injuries and he's so small. That's what makes me kind of worried about him. But yeah, it's up in the air for me.
Yeah, every time I see, we ain't seen him nothing but like once or twice.
We saw him did get pulled from punt return though.
Yeah. But at the Giants game, I mean, I was out there watching or whatever. Every time he caught the ball, I would cringe because I mean, every hit it just looked like that was going to be the one to take him out the game. I mean, you've seen that throughout all the time you watch football. It's just some guys that you look at and be like, man, he ain't gonna be able to take too many more of them hits or whatever. And that's what I see in Phillips. Other than that, man, I mean, he looked pretty good to me. I mean, he a good crisp route runner or whatever. I mean, he was making some catches. I mean, so he got hands too, but it's just the size, like y'all said. I mean, it's scary to watch him play.
And then the way they were running, I mean, because they were throwing, where he was in the middle of the zones, in the middle of the field. He wasn't like in the open field where he could catch and run. It's like he was always sitting down in the middle of a zone, and it was like a linebacker right there, like you say, Morocco, just ready to pounce on him as soon as he caught the rock. I'm like, oh man, they put him in some tough situations.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, he's a situational guy to me, but if you use him right, he can be a good situational guy. But man, it's scary.
Like I said, he just need to work on just getting in the gym, bro. He gotta get
right now you definitely can't force him.
He got the skill set. He's just not big, man. You got to get big, bro. Like, you can't just be no small wide receiver, man, out here getting popped. Like, that's like me going out there. Get them
man, listen, him and Brewer, they need the team. Listen, the team need to sponsor him and Brewer going to a buffet 5 days a week. they need to sponsor that. They need to put some weight on them dudes. Get them, not fat as I don't know what, but put some size on them, and then have them lift the weights on top of it. They'll be cool. But
so you saying they need a
say what?
You saying they need an NIL deal from LA Fitness, huh?
Yeah, I mean, let them boys pig out and hit the weight room.
Give them a Kyler Murray contract, but it's food. You must eat this much food per day. You must hit the gym this many times per day.
Right.
Yeah, man. Like, I feel like, but I will say though, I feel like Brewer would be a good center. Like I just feel like he's not meant to play guard or left tackle. He need to be a center where he's not getting hit as soon as the play starts. Like he get to help out on people. You know what I'm saying? Like he can't be the first. He can't be no guard, man. I just don't understand.
If you don't think we put him at center, everybody gonna go through a 3-4 defense on us and just put a nose tackle right over him,
nose tackle,
and then just bull rush him as soon as he hikes it.
Now, when we played Cincinnati and he tried to block DJ Reader, bro, it was such a mismatch, man. I was like, oh my God, bro. Can't have him trying to block DJ Reader, man. DJ Reader was just pancaking this dude, man.
Yeah, I just don't understand. Everybody said it all offseason. We were like, Aaron Brewer, and we get it, he's tough, but he's small, man. Like, why is he starting? Like, and by all means, he was getting blown up all year. Like, I'm like, Lord, this offensive line. It's hard to even watch the Titans with a bad offensive line because they going to keep trying to run the ball on you. And it's like, man, it's hard to run the ball when you ain't getting no push. Like, I feel sorry for Derrick Henry, man. This man with Derrick Henry would get the ball and get hit as soon as he get the ball. Like, I'm like, dude, like, he can't be a good running back if he getting hit. I'm surprised Derrick Henry getting hurt. Like, I'm being for real. I'm surprised he didn't get hurt.
We got to get back to winning in those trenches, offense and defense. We've not been winning in those trenches this year.
Yeah, I feel like that's where the meat, you know, that's where the Titans really get teams, and that's offensive and defensive line. And that's why I was like, man, every year they probably just need to go offensive defensive line in the first round, you know.
I'm telling you, Cowboys did that some years back, and look what they were able to do. I mean, they were just straight up going offensive line until they got that thing built up to where it was good for however long. It's still good right now. Yeah. I mean, they just, you know, they done had some pieces go in and out, but, you know, that just comes from drafting offensive linemen year in and year out, and that's not the sexy thing to do, but it's the necessary thing to do because – I mean, you win and you lose in the trenches.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
And I'm just hoping that this new GM comes in because if you remember, like John's first year, he came in and we had a bad offensive line, and he was able to maneuver to get it wasn't big names, but it was just the right pieces we needed for that first year to at least give us a fighting chance in those trenches. Mm-hmm. And if Rand can come and do that, that'll be great because he's been player personnel, so he kind of knows some people that are not on the radar that might be good that he can put in plug and play places to be stepping stone players until we actually find the guy to solidify that role.
They said, how y'all feel about the secondary?
Trigger Trey, what's good?
What's Trey?
Secondary, I mean, if Fulton could stay on the field, I feel like he'll, you know, get back to being the player that we think he can be. Other than that, I mean, you know, you got KB out there. KB is KB, and Hooker, he pretty much same thing with Hooker as Fulton. Keep him on the field. If he's healthy or whatever, he'll be good. But end of the day, we gonna be.
You're not ready to put Caleb Farley at cornerback one.
Nope.
Hell no.
Nope.
No, that was such a bad pick.
I mean, not only can't he stay on the field, I mean, when he's on the field, I mean, dude run like a 4-3 or
you ran a 4-2
or something.
And not on a football field.
He got no business getting burnt downfield. I mean, come on, dude. I mean, you running this fast, but yet you getting burnt. I mean, that's all technique right there. So, no, man, I mean, honest to God, truth, I hate it for the dude, but he probably need to get cut right along with Daly.
I feel bad, man, because like he's still cheap, though. That's why I was like, man, they probably going to keep on the team because he's cheap. But it's like, he can't do nothing but be a gunner. That's bad. They got to do being a gunner, bro.
Like, he not anything with him.
We spent a first-round pick on a gunner.
And Rand wouldn't be at fault for couldn't do because I mean that's not his guy. He didn't draft him in the first round. J-Rob done that. So I think he should go ahead and cut bait with the dude. Hey, get a legitimate cornerback in here. I mean, of course, we're not in position to where we can go spend a first round pick on a cornerback or even a second round pick. But, if there's something good in the third or fourth round, take him and get him in there and see what he got.
And I think Fulton is still young enough too. We might be able to trade him away and get trade value for him instead of just cutting him too, and at least not get full compensation back, but get some type of compensation back for him.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna get anything for Farley. Now, Fulton gives me a Dory Jackson vibes. Like when he's out there, he gives you that big playability, but like you guys saying, like Rossi, stay right there, man. He just can't stay healthy, stay on the field, but he has the skill set to be a lockdown corner. And when he's out there playing, you know his presence. He's like, okay, they're not throwing to that side of the field anymore. They go into the other side. And McCreary, I think McCreary has some skills. He's just short. He doesn't have long arms. He doesn't have a lot of length. So when he's going against these taller receivers, they can out-jump him. And then you got Elijah Molden in the slot. He can't stay healthy, stay on the field. Trey Avery, I thought, did an excellent job, for the 6 or 7 games that he played before he got hurt. He did a great job. And then, like you guys say on the back end, KB is KB, but Malik Hooker, he's got to stay healthy. And, man, I hated to see Adams get hurt at the end of the year in that Cowboy game because he really did a good job filling in for Monty Hooker when he was hurt. And then Adams going down, so he's probably going to miss all of next year as well. So, they got a lot of work to do on the back end, but those guys have to stay healthy, man. They have to stay because your front seven is set. Your front seven is set, but you got to get help on the back end.
Yeah, Ty Rossi, I like McCrary too. I was real big on him in the draft because I watched him when he played Alabama in that Iron Bowl. Even though they wound up losing that game, I mean, he frustrated Jameson Williams and John Mechie in that game, and I was like, that corner right there, he nice, But like I said, he do have some flaws. Like he's not very fast, so he can't really guard a fast receiver. Like I don't think he should be a cornerback 1, but he definitely be a good cornerback 2 in this league. So I like Roger McCreary.
I guess that's why I really don't, I ain't gonna say I hate the dude or whatever, but McQuarrie is just like, I see him, he's right there playing the ball. I mean, rarely is he out of position. He's just not able to make those plays. And y'all pretty much just put it all in perspective for me. I mean, he don't need to be out there on the outside like that consistently. I mean, we pretty much asking the dude to be number 1, number 2 cornerback or whatever. And realistically, I mean, he's really a slot cornerback. And if we could get some guys to stay on the outside consistently, let him work inside, I think that's where his true potential will come out.
Yeah, he don't need to be on any big receivers, 6'4" wide receivers because he's just too small. Like if you go back to that Bengals game, that man T. Higgins, he got him. Right? I think Trayshawn just said something about it too. He was like, he tore him up. He had like 100-something yards. I was at that game, man. I was like, I can't even be mad at somebody pack. I would have threw it up to him too. Like he too small.
Just chunk it up there. As long as he 1-on-1, just chunk it up there.
Yeah. I think my mom, she had a good comment. She said, did the Titans organization address our strength and conditioning coach? And
anybody Ken, you got anything on that?
Yeah, you got anything on
that? Vrabel addressed that at the press conference. He said it's on the players. Soft tissue injuries, David Long, Christian Fulton. Y'all got to take better care of y'all bodies. Y'all got to come in shape. Y'all got to stay in shape. So, some of those injuries, I think, when you pulling hamstrings and pulling groins, ain't nothing really a strength and conditioning coach can do about that. That's on the player. You got to get yourself in shape and you got to be ready to go, when the season starts, when training camp starts. So now, torn ACLs and, torn patella tendons and Tannehill getting his ankle rolled up on. I mean, what can you do? I mean, some of those are just, that's just football.
Freak accident.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's just football. But with the amount of injuries that are occurring, they have to figure out, okay, is it the turf? Is it the cleats? Is it there's a common denominator somewhere, and they're going to have to find out what that common denominator is. And the 49ers went through similar injuries, not this season, earlier this season, but last season as well. They had a lot of players injured. And the Titans and 49ers, they're both physical football teams on both sides of the ball. They're both very physical football teams. So that may be something that the new GM can get with Vrabel, say, hey, okay, this is what we did in Frisco to kind of clean up the injury situation. These are some things that we did. And then the Titans, they're going to have to look at their practice, their practice facility, their practice bubble, maybe the field at Nissan Stadium. I don't know, but there's a common denominator somewhere, because as soon as Harold Landry got hurt, that first week of practice, then it just all went downhill after that. It was like an injury every other week. It was somebody else going down, man.
Yeah,
so
that can't
there's a
happen.
common denominator somewhere.
Ty Rossi said, Kenmore, what is your opinion on David Long? He said he is injured a lot. So he's great when he's out there, though. So
yeah, and that just kind of started with David, right? Like his previous years, he hadn't suffered a lot of injuries until this year. And, like I talked about, and Coach Vrabel talked about, man, those soft tissue injuries, you got to stretch. You got to get yourself in physical condition, and it's a difference because this was the first year that David Long was the starter coming into the season, right? He was a low-round draft pick. He had to battle his way up. He was a reserve player, kind of like Aaron Brewer. He was a backup to Jayon Brown and to Rashad Evans. So he only played maybe 40, 50% of the snaps. When you become the starter, now you're expected to play 75 to 80% of the snaps. And that takes a heavier toll on your body as a football player. If you guys play football or, been around the game, the more reps you take, the higher percentage chance of you getting hurt. So for the Aaron Brewers, the David Longs, a lot of credit to those guys for working themselves from backups to starters. But once you become a starter, it's a whole different ball game, and your body, you don't get that much recovery time. You have to make sure you're in condition to play 50 snaps a game instead of 25 snaps a game.
Yeah. A little different regiment from being a backup to being a starter on the field.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
We got our next question. This says, is losing Jim Schwartz going to impact us a lot? I think it's going to affect the D-line a little bit because that was mostly his expertise. When it's talking about coaching up a D-line, but as in like our defense going down, we got Mike Vrabel, man. I can't doubt no Mike Vrabel defense, especially when he has a good D-line. He's gonna be able to scheme out something.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be that big of impactful to it. I really don't.
Nah, Shane Bowen, he's probably done learned so much under Schwartz. Well, not so much under Schwartz, but just from being around Schwartz.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be cool. As long as they can keep guys healthy, I think we'll be cool without Schwartz, and I want to thank Schwartz as well for coming back here, helping our defense get back to where it was, because, that's another thing. Just like great offensive line play, we used to having great defensive play too. Hard-nosed defense. Back in the Fisher days, dudes always used to say, like, them Titans, man, they gonna come to fight you. You gonna know you done play some football when you go up against them Titans, and that was mainly because defense. They just always that hitting you, or whatever. And we got back to doing that with having Schwartz around. So I'm looking for that to stay the same with Bowen as well.
Man, I love Jim Schwartz when he was here as the defensive coordinator back in the early 2000s. And then, of course, he went to Detroit. He didn't do a good job as a head coach. But like you said, Morocco, him coming back here, man, and really helping Shane Bowen out. Because remember, Shane Bowen was on the hot seat a couple of years ago, kind of like Todd Downing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Before Jim Schwartz got here and said, hey, man, this is how you need to have these defensive linemen attack the pass rush and these edge rushers and Harold Landry and Bud Dupree and those guys. So he really helped turn his defense around. And like I said, I think he's going to do an excellent job with Cleveland, with Myles Garrett and those guys. I think Cleveland is going to be crazy good on defense next year, especially if they get another defensive end on the other side of Myles Garrett with Clowney being gone. I think Cleveland's going to be a defense to reckon with next year. But hopefully Shane Bowen takes what he learned from Schwartz and he continues to implement those practices.
Yeah, and my thing is, man, like I said, Jim Schwartz has done a lot of good for this organization, and I thoroughly thank him. For what he's done. I wish we could just win a Super Bowl with him.
I know.
I hate all these people that do so good for us, but we just cannot get to that darn game.
Yeah.
That Super Bowl, man. It's been a kryptonite for so long, man. But I just feel like, man, we're gonna finally break through, man. Just keep fighting,
When we do, man, they need a ring. I mean, I want to see that happen, man. I mean, we get a ring, man. Make sure you remember those dudes who couldn't be a part of it. I mean, that right there, I mean, that just shows appreciation to what they done for us.
And make sure I put a ring on Steve McNair's grave, man.
Ring
on the grave, man. Hey, we finally got there, man. He said with the new GM hire, how safe is the head coach Mike Vrabel? He said maybe Rand wants to bring in his own head coach, D'Amico Ryans. Man, I'm tired of the fire Vrabel stuff, man. The disrespect got to stop, man. Hey, this is his first losing season with us. Come on, man. It's got to stop, bro. He just won Coach of the Year last year for a reason.
Yeah, and one of the main emphasis Amy said when hiring a GM was you must be willing to collaborate with Mike Vrabel.
Yeah,
and Mike Vrabel was involved in this hiring. He would not be involved in hiring somebody that's going to fire him.
Right. No doubt.
And also, she said that the reason why Rand even got the job, like what blew them away, is that he came in there. And he said that we do not need a total rebuild to get to the Super Bowl. He looked at our roster, you know what I'm saying? He looked at how we play, and he said he does not need a total rebuild. I'm sure we probably need a couple pieces. It may take a year or two, but he knows, man, he can get this roster to where it needs to be.
Yeah, that's probably all Mike Vrabel needed to hear right now.
Yeah.
He needs talent. Oh, hold on, we'll do this. So he said Leftwich for offensive coordinator. Would y'all like Byron Leftwich? Yeah, I like Byron Leftwich.
We've called for it a couple times on this podcast already that might be a good candidate.
I don't know. I don't know because I think he got a raw deal in Tampa. I will say that first and foremost. It's not his fault that Tom Brady can't play quarterback anymore. It's not his fault that it's not his fault that the offensive line their offensive line was as hurt as our offensive line. Their offensive line, they lost 2 or 3 guys in preseason, just like we did. Brady and Mike Evans. How many times did Brady overthrow Mike Evans? Or did Mike Evans drop a wide open touchdown passes? When they had Jameis Winston before Brady got there, Tampa was the 3rd ranked offense in the NFL with Jameis Winston at quarterback throwing 30 interceptions. They were the 3rd ranked offense. That same offensive system got them to a Super Bowl Tom Brady's first year. Okay. Even last year, they almost came back against the Rams being down by like 24, 28 points in the 4th quarter. They almost came back and won that game. Now, on the negative side, did their offense have any creativity? No. They had no creativity on their offense. I don't know if that was because of the personnel. You got Leonard Fournette at tailback, who I don't think is a really good tailback. You lost Gronkowski. They lost Antonio Brown. So they lost a lot of weapons on the outside. Chris Godwin is not the same Chris Godwin from 3 or 4 years ago. So I say all that to say, is Byron Leftwich better than Todd Downing? Absolutely. Would he be an improvement? Absolutely. Is he the best candidate? I don't know that yet. I would like to see him come in for an interview. I would like to see him be a candidate. And then, of course, they're going to have much more intel than we have to make that final decision. But I would like to see him be considered and to get an interview for the job.
He said Leftwich had top 5 offenses all 4 years. He said, yes, bring him in. We don't need gimmies. Well, it's also, man, it's got to be about the fit too, man.
Yes.
Like just because we bring in Eric Bieniemy doesn't mean that he gonna work perfectly with Mike Vrabel. Like you don't know what it has to be like the continuity. Like the people got to be able to work with each other, man. It ain't always about this guy and what his resume look like. That's why like the candidates that we bringing in, we were trying to bring in the Denver Broncos offensive like quarterback coach. I'm like, man, I'm like, I don't want nobody from the Broncos, but I gotta think it's about relationships, it's about chemistry. You know what I'm saying? These people got to be on point with each other. They got to see things eye for eye. So
and let me just put this out there. The Titans is not changing their scheme. I'm just gonna go ahead and be straight up with y'all right now. I mean, you see where Rand comes from, 49ers, what do? They run the ball, and they've been able to do it better than us over the last few years because they've been more creative than us, and they've made it further than us. And you know us, as long as we got Derrick Henry, we running the football. Now, the thing about it is the Titans want to get more creative. They want to get better pieces around them so that they can do the things that they want to do. They don't want to change the scheme. They just want to get better at what they're doing because we've seen when this offense is going, I mean, it's one of the top offenses in the league. I mean, they already running the Shanahan system, which Green Bay is running, San Francisco is running, the Rams is running it. I mean, the Dolphins. I mean, the Titans is running that offense. I mean, it's different variations of it too, but we don't have the pieces to run it the way the other teams run it. So we necessarily don't need a scheme and a philosophy change. We just need better pieces so that we can open up the offense.
Yeah, and I think that's why Mike Vrabel was trying to defend Todd down it a little bit because he was saying like, dude, like we couldn't run the ball all season. I mean, like on good teams, we couldn't really run the ball. We ran the ball on the bad teams, but like the good teams, like the Bengals, the Bills, and the Chiefs, we really couldn't run the ball when it mattered most. So I think that's what we was kind of missing down the stretch. We couldn't do that. Another offensive coordinator, I was Trey Sean kind of beat me to it, but I was finna say Greg Roman from the Ravens. I know he's big on running. You know what I'm saying? He's done had a run central offense over in Baltimore. And I mean, I know we ain't got Lamar Jackson, but I know he knows a bit about running the football.
Yeah, you just said it right there. We don't have Lamar Jackson, and that's what Greg Roman does. I mean, that's what he's known for. I mean, he done it with Colin Kaepernick, and he done it with Lamar Jackson, and that right there doesn't fit our scheme. I mean, he's a damn good OC to me, but it's not a fit.
They said the thing is, if we want to be the offense we were a couple seasons ago, we need the pieces to be able to run that offense. You said which we did not have at all this year, which is true. We didn't have, we didn't have the receiving threats that we had.
No. And a lot of football, it starts in those trenches, and when we consistently lose those trenches, you're not gonna get no steam to keep pushing forward. You're just gonna constantly be playing behind the sticks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The Titans. One thing I always knew this season, man. When the Titans get a penalty or get 1st and 15, I looked at my mom when we watched the game, and I was like, "Yeah, we about to punt." She's like, "It's only 1st down." I'm like, "I said, we might as well go ahead and get the punt team out there."
All right, we seen that one too many times.
1st and 20, go ahead and get the punt team ready. We about to punt the football. And that's it. Ty Rossi goes, he said, I really like what Hooper did this season. We can get him at a good price. I would like to keep him and Chid together, make a good tandem. I agree. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like Hooper this season. He came up clutch a lot this year, in a lot of big games this year. So,
yeah, him and Tannehill really got a rhythm, towards the second half of the year. And even with Dobbs went to him a lot, the Dallas game and the game against the Jaguars. I thought he did a really nice job, and he started to get a little bit more comfortable with the offense and whatnot. So yeah, I would definitely love to get Hooper back.
Yeah, we'll see. Hope he can come back on that same deal he was on. What do we have for like 1 year for $6 million?
Like $6 million,
yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I mean decent.
We're gonna be paying Jeff Swain the max. That what we're gonna do? I don't.
Nah, them days is over with, man.
Jeff Swain.
Unless Vrabel was the one behind all of that right there, I think them days right there is over. I mean, going into this season, man, Chig and Hooper, they need to be out there consistently. I mean, one of them is going to have to, get better at blocking. I mean, Hooper, he isn't known for his blocking. Chig, I mean, from what I saw, he's okay at blocking. I mean, there's definitely room for him to get better. And if he, can get better at blocking, I think that tandem right there would work out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I don't know, man. If I see one more screen to Jeff Swain, man, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Man, we really threw a screen to Jeff Swain with Traylon Burks blocking. Who coming up with this stuff? I don't understand.
I understand.
You know who is, and he got fired for it. You know exactly who came up with that stuff.
Like he was gonna trick somebody, they gonna sneak the ball to Swain. Swain will go take it 15, 20 yards downfield or something. Come on, crazy, it's ridiculous.
He says I live in Maryland, and it said the way we feel about Down is the way they feel about Greg Roman. Okay, so that makes it that means that he don't need to be the guy.
Exactly.
Yeah. See, but the thing is, though, if we get a good offensive coordinator, he's gonna be gone the next season. Like that's the only thing that sucks about this league and not having an offensive-minded head coach. Everybody wants an offensive head. So,
and that's the thing about having a defensive head coach in an offensive league. Just like Arthur Smith. You get one that's, especially if they're successful, then they're gonna be up for a head coaching opportunity, and then you're gonna have to, go to the well once again and. It's a 50-50 proposition. We hit a home run with Arthur Smith. We came up snake eyes with Todd Downing. So maybe we hit a home run with the next guy. But, as long as you have a defensive head coach, then, you're going to be in that situation. If you have an offensive coordinator that's highly successful, he's going to be up for a head coaching opportunity.
Yeah. And I look at it this way, like I would think me and Morocco and Firestone have talked about it on here, and I was saying we need to go hire an offensive coordinator that has failed somewhere else, that's failed at other places, like as a head coach, and for somebody that doesn't want him as a head coach, you know what I'm saying, and he would just stay here. And I've always thrown up the name Josh McDaniels because I'm like, man, don't nobody want him as a head coach if he get fired from the Raiders. He could just be an offensive coordinator when that brings that consistency, that continuity that Ray was looking for. So.
Yeah, I don't want McDaniels though.
People talking about Frank Wright. I'm not a Frank Wright guy myself.
Yeah, he be getting away from the run game, man. I don't think that's a good fit for he stopped giving Jonathan Taylor the ball so many times. I'm like, dude, what is he doing?
Yeah, Vrabel would most definitely have to get on to him and make him run the ball. And I think that right there would cause conflict because Frank sit up there and said it himself that he don't believe that a running back can win a Super Bowl. You're not going to win a Super Bowl running the ball. So Vrabel's mindset and Frank's, that ain't a match.
It's who does the team need to cut to bring the salary cap down?
Well, I mean, it's kind of obvious. Taylor Lewan, Bud Dupree, those are two guys off the top. Zach Cunningham, his $10 million salary. I was really disappointed in Zach because, I saw him in Houston with the Texans and, his first 2 or 3 years, man, that guy was a beast. He was leading the NFL in tackles. He was like, top 3 in tackles every year. Even when he played the Titans, he'd be all over the field, hitting Derrick Henry. I mean, this dude was a beast when he was playing with the Texans, man. In his last year, in Houston, he had just got the new contract, and then he kind of fell out with David Culley last year, and then they ended up kind of releasing him at the end of the year. And I remember when they released him, I tweeted, I was like, the Titans need to put in a claim on Zach Cunningham. And we picked him up. He came in and did a great job, took Rashard Evans' job like within 3 weeks. He was the starting linebacker over Rashard Evans. So I'm like, okay, Zach Cunningham going to be the truth for us, at the starting linebacker position. And then this year, man, it just looked like, he just another guy, man. He just couldn't stay healthy, got hurt, came back in, then hurt his elbow again. And then I'm like, all right, well, he might be ready for the last game against Jacksonville. Didn't come back for that game. I'm like, man. So yeah, he was a huge disappointment. So I think he's gonna be gone as well.
Yeah. Titan Rossi goes. He said, I was just thinking about this. He said David Long is a free agent. I wonder what type of money he is gonna want. I don't know what y'all think we're gonna pay him, or what do y'all think is?
I think they're gonna pay him,
Yeah,
and
I
I think he's going to do everything in his power to stay. Because, like I mentioned earlier, the dude said that he wanted to stick it out with his brothers, the guys that he got drafted with, and he's one of Vrabel guys that Vrabel called out a couple weeks ago. So
that means
he's definitely looking for David Long to step up. So he'll be back with the Titans.
I think more so he called them out because he know that they wasn't playing up to their potential. On top of them not staying healthy, and he's like, I need y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? You guys are veterans on this team. Like, what it takes to live up to that standard that I want you to. And he probably felt like that they weren't doing that. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't putting in worth the effort because he knew this team just wasn't gonna do nothing this season. So
yeah, that was that player kicking in with Mike Vrabel.
But he cost himself some money though, man. Just think if he would have played the whole year and been an impact down the stretch, he cost himself a little money. He cost himself a little money.
He did. Yeah. We got a Jaguar here. He said
mayonnaise conviction.
They always coming with the mayonnaise jokes, man. So
hey, what's up with y'all though, Sam? Why y'all trying to have a show at the same time we having a show? I mean, knowing good well, y'all wasn't having shows like that until y'all got the winning game. And as soon as y'all go back to the dumpster, we won't see a Jaguar show.
Yeah. He said, what? He said, why is that whatever you in the kitchen? I'm in the kitchen. He said, all the hog balls.
Wow.
I like pig.
He goes, he said we can fix the line, but we're still in QB purgatory. I don't know. If we have Ryan Tannehill back, I don't know if we're gonna be in purgatory. We know Ryan Tannehill is
purgatory because we've been had Tannehill going on 4 seasons now. I think this is 4th season coming up, right? Yeah, so that's not a purgatory. What the Colts are going through is a purgatory. They switching quarterbacks every single year.
Yes.
I mean, a purgatory.
They out here looking like the Browns.
Right. A purgatory is what Miami is going through right now. They probably getting ready to, wash their hands with Tua.
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunate for him, but, the Titans is not having those type of quarterback problems. People just want Tannehill to be elite, which he's never going to be elite. So
you got to make him play at an elite level with the talent around him. You got to make him look elite,
Well, it's not even that, but people are just a little too hard on him just because he's not the quarterback that they're wanting. And that's why I always keep using the term, he's a stepping stone quarterback. He's going to be the guy that fills the role for us until we get to that guy that we need. But so many people are so quick for when Tannehill messes up one thing because he's not the quarterback they want. They want to go ahead and start throwing him to the side. And our QB situation could be way worse. We could still have Mariota. We could still be working with Jake Locker with bones of glass, okay? Like, this shit could be way worse. It's not that bad having Tannehill here.
Yeah, I can't even sit here and cap. Like I was like, yeah, man, we need to go get this quarterback. I the main one in the group chat talking about, yeah, we need Lamar Jackson. Go get Bryce Young.
I'll be trying to convince you every week, like, bro, we're gonna be all right.
Man, I just, you know how I am, man. We were going through a lot, man. You gotta leave me alone, man.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah, RJ, you be having your moments sometimes, bro. I be looking at it like, man, bro, just having it moments. Ain't nothing to him.
I'm going through it, man. It was hard to sleep at night knowing that. I'm like, man, I don't know what kind of quarterback we need, but I'm like, man, we need a savior.
Hey, real talk. Would y'all want them to try to jump up to number 3?
Man,
jump in front of Indy and take CJ?
You know who my quarterback is, man. I want Bryce.
Bryce too small, man.
He is small though.
Man.
He is small.
That scared me, man.
That is the only thing that is his only downfall. He is a small quarterback, but that boy can play. Yeah, he's tough. I'm telling you, man. Yeah. He's tough.
I say no because I kind of have a theory that I think as bad as the Colts have needed a quarterback, and with the Texans losing that or winning that game and then losing the first overall pick, if I was the Colts, I would try to trade up to number 1 so I can pick the QB I want and then leave the Texans who are in my conference the crumbs to pick from after I got the guy I want. So I would almost think that if because Colts are needing a quarterback pretty bad, I wouldn't put it past them to go ahead, go jump up to 1, get your dude. And I don't think we're going to be able to jump up to 1. So I say let them fight it out this year, and then we can try to figure out next year something more later in the rounds. But plus, we don't have enough draft capital to possibly trade up to number 1 without giving up something ridiculous.
No, I'm saying trade up to number 3, maybe.
Oh, number 3. Yeah. But I mean, even that's going to be a hard trade up too for us.
Yeah. I don't know, man. That man. All right, man. Let's go back in history, man. That man Ran Carthon, man. He orchestrated that trade to go get Trey Lance. He went from what, number 11 to 3? He went to number 11 to 3 to go get Trey Lance.
Yeah, but he gave up a lot of stuff though.
I don't know.
3 first-round picks and what?
I did not. That's good on that.
Yeah. So
it's a lot. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it, but if you ask me, in my opinion, right now, just wait it out. I mean, we don't need the quarterback to play right now, but we gon' eventually have to do this. I mean, if we trying to win the Super Bowl, we not gonna suck enough to land the top 3 draft pick to get a franchise quarterback. So we gonna have to make that move. But I say just let's play out this season right here and see how things look in 2024.
Yeah, I do want Ran to make a move that's going to excite the fan base. You know what I'm saying? We're already excited, but like, go ahead and get Bryce Young.
He couldn't hold it.
He's ready.
He couldn't hold it. That man is turning crimson tide right now. That ball fan is turning crimson tide.
I literally said, man, it's bad. I'm about to sell my soul to the devil to get a quarterback.
That's funny, bro.
Y'all know I hate Alabama more than any other team, bro.
What'd you have there, Ken?
Wow. Nah, so I was looking at the trade that San Francisco made with Miami. San Francisco had the 12th pick. We got the 11th pick. Miami had the 3rd pick when they traded up. So they flipped 3 and 12, and then San Francisco gave them 2 additional first-round picks and a 3rd-round pick. Mm-hmm. I agree. That's way too much.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's way too much. Yeah, that's way too much. So I wouldn't give up that much, but I might give up 1 first-round pick, extra first.
I'll definitely give him a call. Yeah, I'll give him a call, man.
I mean, it don't hurt to try.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Arizona got the 3rd pick right now, and they don't need a quarterback. So
yeah. And it's either Arizona or Seattle. I can't remember.
It's Seattle. I don't think
Is it Seattle?
Seattle traded to get that 3rd pick though, so that's why. You know,
Yeah.
but he said we still got Malik. You know,
Bruh, Malik a long ways down the out, man. We're gonna have to see.
Hey, that is an interesting thought, though. You know, how
No, it's
do
Arizona.
oh, it's
It's
Arizona.
Arizona.
Arizona got the 3rd pick.
So how
Yeah.
do y'all think Rand views Malik? I mean, do y'all think that Rand is looking at Malik like, you know, I want to see this through, or is he looking at him like, hey, we got to get this dude up out of here?
He's looking at him just like we looking at it.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's gonna be. I don't know what he's gonna be.
Yeah,
It ain't that hard. It ain't that hard. He's 3 years away from being able to play.
Yes. Yeah.
You said J-Rod be trading Simmons this year if he was still the GM. I ain't gonna put it. I ain't gonna put it past him, man. That man, after you trade AJ Brown, I think he'll trade Derrick Henry if he wanted to.
Yeah, man. J-Rob cold, but thank God Amy the coldest.
He said that Tannehill cost too much to be average. We can cut him, find an average QB, and build enough talent around him that it won't matter. But we need too much on offense to not cut him and use that money on some young talent.
If I remember correctly, when I looked this up, Tannehill's only like the 14th high paid quarterback in the league.
Yeah, he's probably about the 14th best quarterback in the league too. So
like
he's placed right where he needs to be.
Where he's at, right? Correct,
Yeah.
exactly. You got to remember that most of your quarterbacks are making 25-30 million a year. So like that's Derek Carr is making 25 million a year.
Yeah, he probably like a top 10. He top 10 paid quarterback right now. We got the Jaguars talking trash.
Loser said what?
Man, they've been enjoying this week, bro. They swept us at our worst.
Finally, after what, 2 years?
This sweep ain't even affected me like I thought it would, because I just know they going back to the dumpster. I mean, Jacksonville, they not known for, you know, having a winning culture. I mean, yeah, they'll look up and have a winning season every now and again, but I mean, just to keep it going, Jacksonville going back to the dumpster. That's why I ain't even worried about them.
They said the same thing in 2017. They're like, oh, yeah, the Jaguars are here to stay. Then what happened the next season? They were trash.
Yeah, they got to celebrating beating New England in their house, and then that next week, Titans got on them, and they never did come back from that.
Hey, when they return back to that dumpster fire, they've always been. It's just going to go right back to that hashtag. It's always been the Jags. It's always been the Jags. It's been right back there where they supposed to be. Damn right.
Man, that slogan is so capped. I don't want to hear that because they was not saying that the first 10 weeks of the season. I ain't hear them say that one time. That they beat the Ravens. The next thing you know, it was always the Jags. Like, get out of here.
What do it mean? I mean, to me, it sounds like it's a butthurt war chant or something. Like, it was always the Jags. Like, what the? Man, let me shut up before I be to say something that I don't want to say on here.
They said if we cut Tannehill, we still owe him $19 million. So add that $19 million to whatever quarterback you want to sign. That's a cap hit. I mean, what average quarterback is better than Tannehill? That's what I'm saying. We talking about the average quarterbacks, the Derek Carrs, the Matthew Staffords, them type of quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? They ain't elite. They like a step below elite. Who you say is just better than Tannehill? With Dak Prescott? I mean, to me, I think he average. Like,
Man, I don't know who they want, man. I mean,
yeah, who you gonna get? Yeah,
I mean, Tannehill,
who y'all gonna get?
To me, Tannehill is like, you know, at the top of that tier 3 or quarterbacks or whatever. I mean, everybody above him. I mean, they team's not gonna let them go. They not going nowhere no time soon. I mean, as inconsistent as Dak may be at times, he's not going anywhere. Who else is up there with him? I guess you can throw Kirk Cousins in the mix, in which I like Tannehill better than Kirk Cousins. I mean, we all saw
Tannehill not gonna throw no 5-yard pass, no 4th and 8.
We saw what Kirk Cousins did this past weekend. I mean, situational awareness is just gone. I mean, Tannehill, to win the game or whatever, if the game's on the line, Tannehill is at least going to throw downfield. I mean, he's going to throw close to where you know he needs to get to.
Yeah, this
And,
is the perfect comment right here. He says keep Tannehill unless there's a clear upgrade, and I 100% agree with that. Unless we upgrade the quarterback, there's no reason for us to get rid of Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah. So here's this for you. Tannehill is the 14th highest paid quarterback right now. The quarterbacks that are above him is Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Derek Carr, Matthew Stafford, Dak Prescott, Kirk Cousins, Jared Goff, Carson Wentz, Matt Ryan. All those guys get paid more than Ryan Tannehill.
they want Kyler Murray.
No, I'm good on Kyler, man. So when Call of Duty come out, bro, we taking the L. Call of Duty come out, there's an L coming.
And then the person that's right behind Tannehill is Tom Brady.
Yeah, man. I mean, whether you like Tannehill or not, man, you're gonna have to deal with him for another.
You're gonna have to deal with him probably for another year, man.
Yeah.
Derek Carr is not an upgrade over Tannehill, man. I'm sorry.
Like really? No, he's not. No.
Probably downgrade.
Your only option is either bringing Tannehill back or you trading up and giving up a lot to get one of those young quarterbacks. You know, you know, RJ's, you know, man crush with Bryce or CJ Stroud, man, you know. So that's your choices. You got Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, or Ryan Tannehill. There's no other option.
Yeah,
there's no.
He said it's Tom Brady to upgrade over Tannehill at this point in his career. I mean, I don't know. That's tough. That's tough.
Now how our team is constructed right now. Yeah, not with our offensive line being the way it is. Not with these receivers. No. Now, if we you know fix this offensive line, get some real deal wide receivers up in here. I mean, it's a debate. But even with that, though, I mean. 46-year-old Tom Brady. I think he's turning 46 this year, right? Yeah, 46-year-old Tom Brady who can't run it all versus Tannehill, still kind of on the younger side. I mean, he's crossing over into that, the older side, but he still got some youth to him. He can still run. I mean, he's durable. So give me Tannehill.
Tom Brady 5 years older than the GM. Think about that.
Exactly.
Oh, wow. He said Tannehill will have a better year if he has a better line and wide receiver. Nobody has this season with the XFL line and wide receivers. Yeah. We look like we straight in the arena football league right now with these receivers.
Yeah, and the whole receiving core was brand new for him. I mean, Nick Aquino Westbrook, but I mean, how much has he really played? Outside of that, every receiver this year for Tannehill was a brand new face. He had no chemistry with nobody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, most definitely.
Even to the tight ends.
Said Tannehill will throw it downfield to the other team.
I mean, at least he'll throw it downfield, though. You got to respect that. I mean, you can't sit up there and respect throwing to your tight end on 4th and 8, throwing it 3 yards or whatever. Nah, I mean, if you gonna go out swinging. That's what Tannehill does. I mean, it ain't always the outcome we want it to be, but at least he gonna go down swinging.
I mean, Kirk Cousins basically did what Joshua Dobbs did.
Thank you.
On 4th down, did the same thing. Same thing.
Just think about. Right. Think about it. Yeah. Think about, how you felt at the end of that Jaguars game a couple weeks ago. I know me. I felt blank when Josh threw that ball. I was like, so this how the season go in?
Yeah, I was hot. I was like, dude, you at least got to force it in there, man. Like, I'd be better off you throwing it to a receiver with 3 people on them than for you to throw a check down. Like, nah.
Right. Yeah. But think about Josh probably got paid $30,000 for that game. Kirk Cousins getting paid $35 million.
Correct.
Doing the same thing.
Correct.
Doing the same thing.
Unbelievable.
Come on, bro.
Man.
Yeah.
It was an incomplete dumb pass, Dort. Well,
they're chatting it up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna say Derek Carr throws a ton of picks.
And has he even won a playoff game yet either?
Nah,
Derek
Carr only been in the playoff one time.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
To me, Derek Carr is Mariota. He's a more polished up Marcus Mariota.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he is to me.
Hey, they came in the same draft.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Their stat lines are almost exactly the same until we kick Mariota.
Yeah, Carr ain't nothing special. I mean, he was on a good path until he got around down, and I guess he just never could come back from it.
Yeah, it says I still don't understand the Tannehill. Hey, I'm gonna have to go live again, y'all. I mean, the hate. I feel like the hate comes from Miami. His days in Miami. Yeah, people that really watch Miami like that and see that he actually is a good quarterback. Like they just saw that all the dumb stuff they were doing week in and week out, and then he'd be a part of it because he had no line, no nothing.
Yeah,
it was a clown show over there.
And they forget Tannehill's last year, he led Miami to the playoffs with 11 wins, and Matt Moore had to take over because he tore his ACL, and he came back from that and came play for us. Unbelievable, bouncing off of an injury. So I think a lot of people just tend to not look at fully what Tannehill's full work progress has been.
And also Tannehill, some people forget, but he was a top 10 draft pick too. I mean, people still holding them to that. I mean, it's the reason that, so many people, now I don't understand this neither, but so many people just love Matt Stafford or whatever. High draft pick with that big arm or whatever. And people see Tannehill. I think he got drafted, 8th overall or something like that. I mean, they see him get drafted that high and, goes to Miami and, Miami dumpster fire at the time or whatever. He comes here, has some success. I mean, he's been the best quarterback we had in a long time or whatever, but yet people just, looking for him to be something he's not.
Yes, correct. Yep.
I think it's all because of that Cincinnati game, man. When when those 3 interceptions, start the game and end the game, I think that just left a bitter taste in everybody's mouth. And we really wanted to see them get back into the playoffs this year to see if he could rebound.
Yeah.
And the fact that, they weren't able to get there and he wasn't able to redeem himself. So it's nice, like he's got to go through a whole nother year to see if he can get back to the playoffs and rebound. So,
right.
I understand people being frustrated, but, like somebody commented earlier, unless there's a clear upgrade, what are you going to do?
Yeah. Hey, Flame, your name's not popping up because I think you're probably on either the AFC South fan battle or you're in a private group. So you have to go to like Twitter or YouTube or something. So if you guys want to subscribe, to the YouTube channel, your comments will pop up a lot faster. I mean, a lot better. All the other stuff. So
or to the Titans Colosseum podcast Facebook page as well.
That page too. And I'll post it in the chat so you guys will be able to sign up for it, or subscribe to it.
Put it up. Okay. All right. Any more comments on here? Yeah, like this right here. So people getting spoiled with Allen, Burrow, Mahomes. They are a handful of truly elite quarterbacks. The other 27 teams have to figure out how to win without an elite quarterback. True.
Facts.
Very true. An elite quarterback can also overshadow what you don't have as talent. And, you can think that you really have a great team, but it's just that elite quarterback making it seem like you got talent surrounding you when you really just have an elite quarterback that you can rely on.
Organizations get spoiled with those quarterbacks too. I mean, look at what Brady went through in New England. I mean, look at what Green Bay is going through with Aaron Rodgers. I mean, those dudes are elite. And those dudes can, get you out of a lot of situations. But, bro, do you really think that them dudes like being out there with, wide receivers that either probably had no business being on the roster or barely making the roster? I mean, they don't want to be out there running for their life. They want good players too. I mean, so these organizations, they get spoiled, the fans get spoiled by it, and you just gotta understand and embrace the quarterback that you got here in Tennessee, because I mean he's not a bad quarterback. He's just not an elite quarterback, and there's nothing wrong with that. We can win a bunch of games, have won a bunch of games with Ryan Tannehill.
You want to know what all these other teams ain't got? They ain't got Derrick Henry. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
They ain't got the best running back in the league. They ain't got a running back that literally makes you play 8-man box the whole game. Like, you know, that's rare. You don't see running backs like that. They were doing that for LaDainian Tomlinson and Barry Sanders and Earl Campbell and Emmitt Smith. You know, they ain't doing that. It was rare that people do that in this day and age of football. They do it for Nick Chubb and Derrick Henry. I think maybe Josh Jacobs. I don't know. And
I was going to mention Josh Jacobs because, you know, he led the league in rushing this year, but there's a reason why. Because the Raiders had Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
You couldn't put 8 men in the box against the Raiders when they got Devontae Adams on the outside. You got to keep that safety back. So now he's running against 6 and 7 man boxes like Derrick Henry was running against 6 and 7 man boxes when we had number 11 on the outside.
Yep.
You know, so it makes a difference in the running game. When you don't have no wide receivers, man, it just changes everything for a defense. They don't have to respect you at all. They can put 9 men in the box if they want to and just play you one-on-one on the outside.
Yeah. And I've been stressing this all on this podcast, and I'm like, dude, we keep running on first down every time, and I'm like, and then it got me to think about it, like, man, we don't have the wide receivers to scare nobody on first down, man. That's why they do it, you know. They're like, man, the safest bet is to just run Derrick Henry on first down and get 1 or 2 yards and see what we can do on second down. Everything to set up third and short. That's all. We were literally trying to drive on people the whole game. Instead, you got people that we playing that they trying to score on one play. You know, we didn't have that one play ability, and I feel like that's what we missing from this offense. You know, we need a speedster, a guy that's going to take the top off of you, so they at all times they can't sit there and just worry about Derrick Henry. You know, it's even amazing that Derrick Henry got to 1,500 yards this season. People got to realize that. That shows you how good that he still got it, man.
Second in rushing and all that, and all those categories, he was number 2 still this year. So
yeah.
With the worst offensive line in Titans history.
Yes, exactly.
The worst offensive line I've ever seen. Literally, that line was terrible.
And think how many nice runs he had that got called back by penalty.
Oh, exactly.
And it looked like
that's where our downfall started, right?
I'm telling you, we would have put the Jaguars away if Chickazim didn't hold on that one play, man. I'm telling you, man. Like,
and that some of them holes be BS calls. I mean, I'm thinking back to the touchdown run against the Colts that they called on Traylon Burks. That right there was the worst. I'm talking about that was probably Derrick Henry's best run of the season.
Of the year.
Yeah, they did him dirty.
Called back on some BS.
Yep.
Yeah, you see, because like, as soon as he scored, man, he took the helmet off, but I ain't never seen Derrick Henry that animated in my life.
He was turned up. And as soon as he seen that they were calling it back, I mean, that right there would just deflate. And that kept on happening throughout the year. Derrick Henry, 2-3 yards here, and then he bust that big 20-30 yard run. Here comes the ref. Flag on the play.
He said the 49ers are winning with a third string quarterback because they have talent around them. You cut Tannehill, Lawan, Dupree, Cunningham, and go in a free agency. You get enough talent that make the QB look good. Then go get an average quarterback like White, Bridgewater, or Brissett. Tannehill's okay, but we need the money for the reload.
How many playoff wins do those quarterbacks have combined?
I'm just gonna put it right here. 0. They not experienced quarterbacks, man. They're gonna get in the playoffs and get shook. You know what I'm saying?
Aim for mediocrity and mediocrity, and that's what you're gonna get. And no, we're just y'all keep trying to take step backs in this quarterback position, and you're complaining about a quarterback, but yet you're willing to replace him with a clear downgrade. It just don't make sense.
Yeah, they keep on trying to justify their hate for Teddy.
Like I said, appreciate Ryan Tannehill while he's here. Yes, I know I had a man crush for Bryce Young and all them quarterbacks, man. I want to upgrade. You know what I'm saying? I don't want no quarterback that's gonna just be just as average as Ryan Tannehill. I want to upgrade. That's the reason why I say that. Like, but if we're not gonna upgrade, I'm cool with Tannehill. I know what I have with Tannehill. I know I can go and make a deep playoff run with Tannehill because we've done it before. He just need other pieces around him.
Yep,
you know what I'm saying? So
And do you think San Francisco would really want to be winging it out here with Brock Purdy? They don't want to do that. If in a perfect world, Trey Lance would be balling right now. They don't want to be sitting up thinking about, well, if we win this game, we're going to have to think about what we can get for the guy we gave up 3 first-round draft picks for. They don't want to go through that.
Yeah. Well, we're going to go ahead and let Ken Moore get up out here. I know you got to get up out of here, man, and do your thing, man. Make sure you guys show some support to Ken Moore, man. Subscribe to his YouTube channel. Make sure you follow him on Twitter, man. Show him love, man. He loves the Titans just as much as we do, man. He's an inspiration to all 3 of us, man. You know, I was watching his videos before I even started doing this, man. So appreciate it. Right. Appreciate you coming on the show, Ken Moore.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all, man. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, you guys can go follow me on Twitter at KMoore Sports. Same on YouTube at KMoore Sports. If you're on Facebook, you friend me on Facebook, Ken Moore. You know, I'll friend you back. And yeah, man, I'm looking forward to the off season. You know, see what this offensive coordinator position look like. Get into the draft, get into free agency, and try to go win this division next year, man. And you know, I'm hoping Kansas City gonna put out Duval, you know, so they quit out in the chat, man.
They've been talking so reckless, bro. Oh my goodness.
Telling us to shut up and sit on the couch. Like, who is y'all to be telling anybody that? Y'all been sitting on the couch for 5 years.
Yes. Man, I've never seen a fan base so happy to be in the playoffs, man. They in the playoffs and they ain't gonna do nothing. It's sad. They ain't gonna do nothing.
Yeah, I'm like, man, I don't even know what to do on the weekends. I ain't used to my team not being in the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah, my dad said the same thing. He's a Steelers fan. He like, man, I don't know how I get used to this, man. I'm so used to being in the playoffs. Like,
I'm just trying to cherish every moment of football that we got, because I mean, once that Super Bowl game is played, hey man, we in that football drought. I mean, we gonna be itching for any little bit of football news. So right now, I'm just taking it all in, even though the Titans ain't there.
Absolutely. And so everybody. Yep. Thank you.
Ken, you take care, man.
All right, man. I'll let y'all on social media, man.
Oh yeah,
most definitely. Hey, get good. You have a good night.
Yeah, have a good night.
Y'all have anything else y'all want to add to, or want to go ahead and wrap this up? Totality.
Like I said, if you watching this, man, and you you know say you like our content, this, that, and the other, I'm telling you, the show gonna keep getting bigger and bigger, man.
Yes,
we're gonna start doing some stuff that people ain't seen, man. I'm trying to let y'all know this now. We've been planning some big stuff. So like I said, make sure you subscribe, make sure you stay listening.
Yeah. So if you're on YouTube, make sure you like, subscribe, and you turn on the notification bell so you know when we're going live, and you'll be the first to know. If you're on Facebook with us, make sure you like the page, you're commenting on this, you're sharing the content for us. That helps us get up into the algorithm and get a little bit more views and all that. So we appreciate all y'all support and energy and coming and interacting with us in the chat as well. Make sure y'all go check out for the merch as well, justwinapparel.com and Titans Colosseum merch on there, and y'all be able to go check that out.
Yes, sir. Everybody enjoy the weekend. Just like my guys said, love having y'all here. Love the interaction, man. Thank you, Ken, for coming through, blessing us. I look at him like he one of the OGs of the fan base, because I mean, he real deal Oiler fan who stayed down, and there's so many of them, and I got much love and respect for all of them. So like I said, y'all have a great weekend. Enjoy them playoff games, man. I mean, we ain't here in the playoffs, but we football fans at heart. So I mean, enjoy them games, man.
And don't forget that Rand's supposed to have his not interview, his
opening press conference.
Thank you, tomorrow too. So y'all make sure y'all check that out. See what he has to say, where the team's going to be going too. So I'm looking forward for that for tomorrow as well.
Like I said, hey, if you're a Titan fan, Oiler fan, hey, so first of all, shout out to Oiler fans, because Firestone here, he's an Oiler fan. He was a former, Oiler.
Yes.
For the Titans came. These guys, that shows a real level of commitment. If you like the Oilers, and then you like the Tennessee Titans. So.
Right.
Absolutely.
Like, share, and subscribe, baby. So,
Absolutely.
go ahead and wrap this thing up.